I see something long absent in the sunken faces of passers-by. A glimmer of hope.
I really don't have any hope for this run because welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. I'm Highwing, and with me is Iron Chitlin.
Hello.
You all voted, and we are going to the Cove today.
Ah, good. I love the Cove.
It's good too because it came with a really good reward. There are actually a lot of good rewards in this set of quests, but the Grave Robber one is particularly good.
Do we have any grave robbers?
We got one at the end of episode 3. We recruited the YouTube viewer Gluck Gluck as a Grave Robber.
Oh, that's right. I remember Gluck Gluck.
And we're going to see today just how frightening Grave Robbers are. Now, somebody was asking me how I do team layouts. I could do a giant info post detailing every mindset, but my general logic is first row is a bruiser, second row is range damage, third row is either offensive support or healer, and then the fourth row is the leftover of what I didn't pick for 3. Now here we're actually going to see a new thing that they implemented late in early access development, heirloom trading. This is an interesting thing because way back in early access development, you could only get heirlooms by going to certain areas of each dungeon. Like you could only get deeds at the wheel, you could only get emblems in the Cove, etc., etc. This was a decent idea, but not great because it meant one dungeon would be extremely more level than the other ones because you would be only going to certain places for certain heirlooms. So what they did instead was opted to make all the rewards random, and then you could just trade whatever heirlooms you get.
Yep, it's a really good idea.
Quite frankly, yeah, because I remember the days of having a surplus of 200 emblems and nowhere to put them, even after maxing the other areas that use them. Now, I finally learned how to spend my money, and by learned I mean remembered. The way you want to spend your money is determine what team you want to use before you go out, then upgrade them. Don't do what I did and just kind of go ham on your units.
Yeah, that was a really bad idea.
That's fine, Selner's fine, he's gambling, he's having fun. Also, the thing I never really quite learned how to do until like way late in development, you never have to keep your accessories on everyone. It doesn't matter if they have accessories on them or not when they're in town, it only matters if they're in the dungeon, and in fact, it's probably better if you take accessories off while they're in town, because if you put them in like the gambling hall or something while they have an accessory, there's a chance they might lose it.
Well, I mean, there's a chance they might just lose something out of your trinket stash itself.
Well, that's true too. I think it's more prone to losing in inventory though, but I don't pay attention. I don't pay enough attention to that. Somebody might hack the data code and tell me I'm wrong, and that would probably be preferred. But yeah, I honestly don't know. Now for the Cove, I like to take disinfectant and shovels with me for treasure. I take disinfectant because there's a curio here. We're not going to see it this run, but there's a really good curio that removes a negative quirk.
With pelagic nightmares. They must be flushed out.
Now, the Cove is very much a traditional Lovecraftian setting. Case in point, Fishman.
Yep.
This guy here, kill him first, because he can not only heal enemies, but also buff them with anywhere between a 25 to 35 damage buff. They die first.
Yeah, and the cultists themselves are not all that dangerous.
Yeah, but when they have a buff on them, then they become dangerous. So, kill the fish wizard. Fish wizards are terrible.
Now, if I remember correctly, during early access, the Cove was the first area that actually had enemies that could buff each other and provide synergies with each other.
Yes. This was the Cove was the first area to introduce what's the term I'm looking for? Enemy cooperation and protection. Fucking when Cove came out, Darkest Dungeon was in a heyday of hilarity.
Oh yeah.
Fucking 80 protection enemies, what the hell? Now, I don't think I looked into it in detail, but I realized halfway through this dungeon that our Arbalest, Mylesk, has fear of Eldritch, which is a problem down here.
Not a great quirk for the Cove, but it's manageable.
I'm not going to be using them for healing anyways, but if I want to use her as an off attacker, it's a problem.
That overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Fear of Eldritch is what, negative 10% damage to Eldritch?
I believe it's accuracy and stress damage. Also,
oh, okay.
Here we go. Here is the ticking time bomb. That is an undead thrall. That's a fancy way of saying this motherfucker's gonna explode by turn 2. Now, there's the plus side of he has -1 speed, so he's often last on the initiative counter. But we're gonna see how that could become a. We're gonna see how that doesn't exactly help our case.
Well, if I remember correctly, thralls only explode on the second turn if they get their first turn off.
Well, yes. Even if
so as long as you can stun them, you can keep them from exploding indefinitely, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. But this motherfucker guarded the bomb.
Well, I mean, you could just use the zealous accusation thing and hit both of them.
I actually wasn't sure if that was the case, so I opted to stun instead. Because I know for a fact 3 of my heroes are faster than him.
Right.
But yeah, that's the rub here. They oftentimes like to either guard or buff their bomb in order for it to do maximum damage, because when it explodes, it'll take half your health off your entire team quite easily.
Some pretty massive stress damage on that one, isn't there?
Yeah, roughly 30 to the entire team as well.
Yeah.
Also, the move I did with the Arbalest was very risky because the move she used, Bolus, the damage range was, I believe, 2 to 5, and I needed to do 4 damage to kill it, and I got really lucky. Aside from that, the fight's pretty decent. The only big irritating thing about the Cove is the shield dude, because he starts with a high amount of protection and gets higher.
Right. I'm also gonna say I really don't like these jellyfish enemies.
Why?
Just because they have a tendency to lock down all my best people in every fight. It annoys me.
I don't think I've ever had that problem, mainly because I think I focus them first because I don't like the bleed damage. Good job, Mylesk. Yeah, the main issue I have with the Cove is because the Cove was the first thing that introduced protection, and it just goes to show how slow protection is, because the moment this shield dude gets a turn off, he goes from like 20 protection to 60, and that slows things down to a slog, even if you have DOT or protection red.
Yeah, well, I mean, DOT's pretty much designed to deal with high protection enemies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of what you need to bring to the Cove, and you didn't really bring anything like that.
Yeah. Though, I don't know, I feel like I handle it well, it's just, it's not efficient, is the term I'm looking for. I could definitely do better by either putting the Grave Robber in the 3rd row, or bringing something like a Plague Doctor, but I can't be asked to properly team comp.
Well, I mean, you're doing like apprentice dungeons right now. It's not.
Yeah, it's not vital.
Yeah.
33 protection though. That shit. Ugh. That takes so much time out of my life.
On the plus side, if you're dealing with a high protection enemy and it's taking a while, you don't have to worry about reinforcements coming in.
Oh yeah, I forgot reinforcements were a thing, because that happened on my personal file. I tried to sandbag in a certain fight in order to get sunlight, because I didn't bring any torches, and then reinforcements appeared and I pretty much dropped my jaw.
Yeah, Yeah, I've only had reinforcements show up, I
As
think,
victories
once in all my
mount,
time playing this game.
So too will
But
resistance.
if you have a high protection enemy on the enemy team, it's it's not even an issue. They just don't spawn.
Yeah. So an interesting thing about the Cove and the Warrens, there's a high spawn rate of food in these dungeons. And I never know if I should, like, not... Oh, fuck. Right.
This is what I consider to be the true boss of the Cove.
This is what I consider to be, consider to be the hardest fucking fight in the game. These guys are fast, hit hard, and have new tricks on higher levels. Fuck them. Oh, speaking of which, last week the Twitter for Darkest Dungeon actually put out a poll saying which is the hardest fight in the game, and like a good 80% of their tweets said 4 fishmen.
Oh my god.
The other half was a full team of mushroom men. So yeah, this fight really sucks, because holy crap. Even unbuffed, these guys can outdamage me easily.
Yeah, and I think on higher levels, the back row fishmen with their spear fishing ability also pull your guys around, so that's great.
That was the surprise I was going to make mention of. Yeah. Fishmen and later levels can fuck with your rotation too. So goddamn, I hate them.
Is broken.
Yep.
Now,
Maintain the offensive.
Gluck seems kind of mild-mannered now, but she comes into her own, she shows off later in the dungeon, because, wow. Grave robbers are great. It's either in this dungeon or in a later video. I did this all in, like, one bored night. I was just like, I'm gonna record some footage, and then 2 hours later, I've done 4 episodes. Well, not 2 hours later, actually, because that would be, because we don't have that much video footage. There's one crit. Grave Robber, alongside Arbalist, have the highest crit rate in the game. Base crit of 15%. Now, Gambler's Fallacy says that would be like 1 in what? 15, 30, 60... That would be like 1 in 8 chance of crit. It never...
Something like that.
It never feels like that. It feels like it's just whenever they want to, they crit, and they really want to crit.
Yeah, like upgrading your Grave Robber to higher levels pretty much turns them into what, like a 25% crit rate? I'm like, yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous and wonderful, and I love it.
Yeah, Arbalist only has 12.5, but it's still psychotically high.
At least promises success.
Now, what else is waiting for me in this awful place?
I don't know what you're talking about. The Cove is wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
about that. This is the other hard fight, because you know how I mentioned these motherfuckers buff each other. Here it is. Here we go. Swole Fishman. Oh, this fight blows. And they are fast. Like, even if I had crowd control, I can't properly manage this shit. I can also count on the Grave Robber having precision damage, because it always seems like they do just enough damage to get the kill, and I love it.
I'm surprised you don't use the crowd control skills more often. Like the Grave Robber's double dagger throw, whatever it's called, is actually really good.
I use it when I know I could get a kill out of it. I prefer spiking down targets rather than spreading out the damage, because I want to guaranteed remove an action out of the enemy team's... There's another crit.
Oh, nice.
I want to guaranteed remove an action. If I can't do it through damage, I prefer to do it through status effects, which means I very rarely use AoE. Like, once in a blue moon, I will use either the Crusaders or the, what's another good one? The Occultists, but I never rely on it.
I'm just gonna say the occultist AOE for the Cove is really good
Yeah, 15% extra damage.
against Eldritch monsters. Yes.
But yeah, silly Reynald missing his paper.
Well, fishmen don't know how to read.
Oh no, paper. Yeah, look at that, 1 slash from a fish dude. My grave robber's looking rough.
Well, I mean, the Grave Robber has kind of pitiful health either way.
Yeah. She's meant to be a dodge tank, so when she gets hit, you feel it. And when she gets healed, you know it.
Annihilated.
Now, one thing I do love, a Crusader with upgraded weapons, really good, really reliable. Also, a trick for early on with managing trinkets. If you have a full inventory and a trinket, odds are when you're early in the game, you're going to have a empty inventory, so just put the trinket on your character.
Yep.
Now, I'm always torn on what to use my disinfectant on. I always want to save it for the, what's it called? There's a curio in the Cove called Coral, and if you hit that with disinfectant, you get 1 random negative quirk removed, which is anywhere between 1,500 to 5,000 gold saved. So disinfectant has value, but it also gets you a lot of money out of fish corpses. So I'm thinking maybe I should start bringing 4 disinfectant to a Cove run, because it brings a lot of money in.
I don't know. I just sort of use the herbs on whatever comes first in the dungeon. I don't really think about it too hard.
Oh, I'm always thinking about the money first, Chitlin. I'm a gold digger through and through. I gotta save my cash.
So I noticed you snuffed your torch here, just to make use of all these curios in your way.
Yes, because I know for a fact that for 8 hallway segments I don't have a fight, so... And I have 7 torches that I haven't used, so why bother doing that? Now, the traps in this dungeon are weird. I don't know what the fuck they are. I think they're like some kind of... I think they're like the inverse of the barnacles in Half-Life.
It's some sort of tentacle beast, I don't know. Just comes out of extremely shallow water for some reason.
Yep, but what they do is they do a little bit of damage, but they also reduce your dodge like anywhere between 30 to 50 for like 8 turns.
For a really long time, yes.
And for context, one of these hallway segments is a turn.
So for basically 2 hallways, you're
Finding the stuff is only
operating
the
with
first test.
absolutely 0
Now it must
dodge,
be
pretty
carried
much.
home.
One thing I like about this area is that one of the curio... Oh, here we go. Kleptomania! Ugh!
Well, I mean, you don't need bus, I guess.
What are you talking about? I have a hospital that needs beautification. Fuck.
Curious
there's
is the
the
trap
beast.
maker's art. His efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
Yeah, but yeah, the chests in this place are nice because you could hit them with a shovel if they're covered in barnacles, and that's free money.
At last,
Shovels are pretty much the best item to bring to the Cove, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. Not a bad Cove run, very by the books.
Yeah.
I think I learned my lesson after that first session, so I was just like, come on, get your shit together, this is an LP.
You got a pretty decent haul out of that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Glut Glut got Column, so the first turn of every fight, she will be doing 15% less damage. I should fix that.
It's fine.
Next time on Darkest Dungeon, we're heading to the Warrens.
Nice.
See you then.